How to Save for Your Children's Education. I'm here today with Kate McCallum, financial advisor and author of the book, The Joy of Money. Hi, Kate.
Hi, Rachel. How are you?
Doing well, and you?
Very well.
I'm wondering if you can help us understand how we can save for our children's education. What should we be considering?
This is a really important one, and I think there's a few things that I always encourage people to consider before they even start looking at options. And that is it flexible? So does the savings plan give you flexibility? Because the worst thing in the world is that if you're saving for education and then there's constraints that mean that you can't use that money, then that's not a good outcome.
Okay.
The second thing is that there's a good choice of investment options. So you want to be able to control your risk and your return. And then the third is costs and taxes, because if you've got a lot of costs and taxes, then that's a drag on your savings.
So a lot of people wouldn't even understand these options or understand these things to consider. What is the next step? What options do we have that would help us make these considerations?
So the good news is there's a range of options. I'm going to start with two that don't tend to meet that criteria. The first of those is actually saving in your child's name. And that's because children can only earn a very, very small amount of income, just a couple of $100s before they get taxed at penalty tax rates. The second one is investing through an education savings plan. And the main reason for that is that they tend to be quite inflexible. So often they have constraints and it's about saving for tertiary education. But what if your child doesn't go to university or TAFE, or if university or TAFE doesn't look like it does today in 20 years' time?
So the money's stuck.
Exactly. So there's some better options out there. So the simplest one is to save in a parent's name, and particularly if one of the parents has a lower income tax rate, that can be a really effective way to go. And so you just invest in normal managed investments or exchange traded funds. A second one, if you've got a mortgage, is to make sure you've got a mortgage offset account. And so that's a really effective and simple way to save for your children's education.
And how does that work?
So you have to do some accounting. So you have to keep note of the savings, but you just pay off more against your mortgage and you effectively save the interest on the mortgage.
And what are some other options we can consider?
Third one is called an investment bond. And this is a special tax rate bond. So it's very helpful if both parents have higher tax rates, usually if they're earning over about $87,000 a year. There are some constraints and they are quite complex, but at least you get a choice of investment options. And then the final one, which is probably the most complex, and it's not going to suit everybody, but that's to either use or set up a family trust. But that tends to work a little bit more if you've already got quite a bit of money saved for the purposes of family funding.
Well, this at least is some information that people will understand to be able to set them free, to be able to know how they can save for their children's education. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
If you're looking for more tips like this, join us on our website, mumsathetable.com.